Good afternoon, guys. What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Good to see everybody here again for another live stream coming at you on a Tuesday of 2022. First stream of the new year. Good to be back. Good to be on the simulator once again. We're going to start this year out strong with a Flight Factor A320 beta version, which I normally don't do. We're going to discuss that, why I'm running the beta version specifically for this stream and probably until they update it and make the beta stable. There's a couple of key things I want to talk about. But we're going to take the beta version 320 over to Chang Mai, I think. Is that how you say it? Perhaps. Could be off on that. Forgive me for the pronunciation. I know the thumbnail was also misspelled. Got called out for that one there. That was just a typo. But yes, we are staying in Thailand. We have a lovely Thai Smiles livery with none other than the Carta IAE engine mod, who he just painted a nice little juicy engine for this livery as well, so we can rock the Thai Smiles instead of the plain white one, which I think is pretty cool. It's dark right now. I think in Thailand it's like, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning or something in real time, so we're basically 12 or 13 hours ahead. There's not hardly anything to look at on this flight, so what we're doing is we're going to pretty much take this as a pseudo night flight. This is super early morning right now. We're going to take off. It'll be dark. I got the Matavia mod installed with Matavia lights, and we're going to take this airplane up and then we'll watch the sunrise, and hopefully by the time we're descending, the sun will just be peeking up over the horizon. Thank you, Alim Ahmed. Private Pilot 6-month membership celebration. Proud of me for spelling it right. Well, I misspelled it there on the initially, but hey, man, it is what it is. But thank you for your support, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, we got this juicy livery here. We got the trucks on board. It's cold and dark. It's what, 12 hours ahead, so 13. Yeah, so it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. So we're kind of simulating a cold and dark airplane. Pretty cold from what I understand as well. Let me pull up the active sky weather. Oh, it's 3:03 in Bangkok right now. So it's actually 13 hours ahead of time. Okay, so the sim is only about 2 hours ahead. I think it's about 5 o'clock local time here. Let me pull up the active sky weather real quick here so we know what we're dealing with. I know it's supposed to be pretty cold. VTCC as our destination. Cruise altitude is set. What do we got for a briefing? Right now it is variable winds, 7,024. Oh, it's actually warmer than I thought. 24 degrees. Okay. Not bad at all. We are on live weather, correct? No. Switch to live weather. There we go. Live weather mode active. Let me refresh. There. Well, still pretty warm. 24. No significant weather en route. And do we have any clouds? We got a little bit of some scattered clouds. That's good because there's really not much to look at, like I said. So good to see everybody here. Mr. Martini made a live stream. Welcome. Christopher Levin, Alim Ahmed, Christian Ayansku, and his Asian, me and my Asian pronunciations. I apologize ahead of time. Miss Jungle, it's good to see you. Dimitri, always good to see you here, man. Welcome from the West Coast. Slam Cannon, good to see you. Slam, we got to get on that SWAT 5 this week at some point, man. We got to do it. Captain Tom, good to see you as well. Robert S., and many, many more. So let's hop into this airplane, guys. Cold and dark. I figure I'd leave it as cold as I possibly could for 2022. So here we go. You love having stairs. I can never figure it out, Carta. So I have it set on gate. Oh, but you know what? Those stairs are the whatchamacallit. Those are the I can't think of the name. The ground handling ones. All right, we're cold and dark. I got my flashlight on here. Our battery voltages 27.7 is good. Battery 1, battery 2, we'll get that on. And then we're immediately going to come down here. Let's go ahead and connect the ground power unit. Get that on the aircraft. There's our veil light. And she comes to life. Bright dome light, please. Turn it up. Now we can get rid of this flashlight. Airplane is coming to life now. Let me get the sounds here for BSS. I think everything is pretty much good. Hopefully the audio will be good. I've been tweaking it. The BSS pack for the 320, I think the original CFM was the best one, and then the IAE is still a little bit clunky, so hopefully I got them tweaked now, so it should be pretty good. You got a round in before the stream? Nice, Slam. That's awesome, dude. All right, airplane's coming to life. Let's continue with our flow here on the captain's overhead. I've noticed here on the beta version, maybe it's just, I think it's just Flight Factor in general. The text, when they're backlit, doesn't seem as sharp as it used to be. I don't know I don't think that's just the stream. I think that's something they adjusted for performance. But as I zoom out, it's harder to read the backlit wording on the Flight Factor. But that's all right. It's been a while since I've been in this airplane. Here we go, up the left-hand side. Crew supply oxygen on. Ground control push button on. CVR test. I'm pleased to tell you that this works. It's properly simulated too. So we got the park brake is set. We'll come back up here. Let's do our CVR test. And that's what the CVR sounds like, for those wondering what it sounds like. 2 fault lights, that's normal. Captain Purrs, Cap. Let's get our alignment. 1, 2, and 3. Wait for the on-bat light. Ivar, what's up, man? Welcome. Welcome, welcome. The word cold has never been relevant in Thailand. Okay. I don't know what cold is relevant to different people, right? All right, we're aligning. That is good. Back down on the bottom. Strobe can go position auto. We'll go nav position 1. Off, we'll go auto. Arm the emergency exit lights. Landing elevation is in auto. Pack flow, everything looks good here. We can go ahead and, we'll go ahead and put that into low for right now, since it doesn't really matter since we're not running both packs, but we'll just put that in low for right now. Up the electrical panel, that looks good. We can actually do a battery test here since this is the first flight of the day. Let's do a battery test. So I'm going to pull up the electrical page. I'm going to pull it up here so you can see it. What we're going to do is verify the amps are less than 60 and decreasing. Off and on. There we go. See 5 amps, 1 amp, discharge. So battery test is good. Fire test engine 1. Engine 2. And we'll go ahead and test Phantom's APU. Speed brakes, we'll check those. Are they up? This Flight Factor loves to deploy them. Making sure we're lights out here. Cargo heat is... Isolation valves are set. That's good. Out and on. ACP3 is set. That's in normal. Everything looks good there. Come to the center pedestal coming down the captain side. I did indeed update my nav database last second. I forgot because I made a copy of this airplane to do the beta. I had to redo the Navigraph database. So that's in there. Audio panel, VHF1, we'll go ahead and turn that on, get the volume down a little bit. We should be on Unicom anyway, so let's set 122.8 in the Unicom. That is set there. Floodlight, I don't love the floodlight. Get the integral light is on. That looks good. Spoid brake needs to be stowed. Thank you, Flight Factor. And coming over the center pedestal here, again, we are looking for oxygen. Engine, we have oil, bleeds. We're not checking that one, that's a mistake. Hydraulics, we are serviced perfectly, that looks good. That looks good. And I'll check our fuel, it is still balanced, even though it's not, you don't need it. Roll Maxify. Welcome to Private Pilot, sir. Glad to have you on board. Welcome to the channel. Exclamation point, welcome for your new information on your perks here. Glad to have you on board, man. Thank you very much for your support. We'll squawk 2000 in the transponder for now, and I think we're pretty much set up. I'm going to turn up the brightness on these PFDs and NDs. I feel like I can't get quite enough brightness here. Those are up. That's bright. Let's turn up the FO side as well. Benny, what's up? Happy New Year to you. Aiming for 50K this year? Benny, that is a lofty goal. I don't know. We'll have to see. We will have to wait and see. Weather was 10-12. We'll just go ahead and set it now. 10-12 is set. I think we can start programming this airplane. Now, what I do like about the Flight Factor is these are modeled. Well, Tolis has it modeled now too, so Tolis has it modeled too. What can I say? All right. Oh, you know what I wanted to do is do real-time fueling. So real quick, let's kill the immersion. Let's set this to like 1.7. We're going to set that. Now we're going to have fuel problems. But we're going to go ahead and power up the fuel. Yeah, I know, wing level, clear that. And we'll do real-time fueling. I do like that on the Flight Factor aircraft. So before we do that, though, let's do a quick initialization. Let's get our charts up here. Let's go VTBS, VTCC. Here it is. Let's scroll over to all the important stuff. VTBS to VTCC. We'll get this initialized here. That is set. Flight number, we are Thai 357 in there. IRS init, align and ref, confirm, return that. I don't get why X-Plane is so dark and gloomy even during high noon and it's kind of dark. You know, I think that's a cockpit thing, Christopher Levin. I think that's a shadow thing. But you're right. You're absolutely right. I agree it does look a little dark and gloomy in general, but I think that's a cockpit issue. Cost index, we're going 88 today. Cruise flight level, I think we are set for 340. That works for me. What do we have here? New temperature plus 11, so it's actually minus 42, so we'll set that here in the box. Ground temp is plus 15. I'm not sure it's greater than 15. I don't know. That's an FMS2 thing. So I am, like I said, I am running the beta. I don't know if they've tried to do any updates to the actual aircraft here or not, but as far as departure, we're going to go off one right. It's a little bit of a longer taxi, but it'll get us going the right direction. One right, Tango 3 Kilo departure. So that is right here. Tango 3. I guess I can pop this out so you can see what I'm doing. Should do it proper. Plan mode, constraint mode on. Tango 3 Kilo out to Tango. Insert that. Scroll this down. After Tango, we're going to join the Yankee 6 airway. Yankee 6. All the way out to Marnie, which I think might be on the approach. Marnie. From there, let's just go ahead and load up the approach since we're here. We're going to set up for the ILS 36, no star. Approach via. I guess we don't need a via. Let me look here. I think I can connect this. We don't have any ATC to worry about, so let's see if we can connect this. I think it has something to do with airport dynamic lights. If I recall, some airports where my cockpit lit up without even using a dome light. Christian, I've seen that too. I think actually on the last stream I had that issue. The cockpit was really bright. Even the airport was really bright, or the ramp was really bright. No, I want to see here. Yeah, approach ILS 3, so that's the RNAV 36. We want the ILS 36. If we're going off of, a cock. Let's go off of EASTA. We'll go EASTA, insert. Now let's look at this. Okay, Marnie, EASTA, that'll work. We'll clear that disco, we'll sync those up. And EASTA is in there as a restriction. This is a TAA arrival area. Look at this. A lot of terrain descending into the area, but we should be pretty well off here. It's not it's not too complicated. The Paro stream, which will be next, will be extremely complex. I've already crashed once. Can't circle west of the airport. It's actually a pretty complex approach chart there. We'll dissect that up in cruise, give us something to do. But right now we already have what we need. Let's get our current airport chart out here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. The 20-9 page is what we need. There it is. We can go ahead and close that. Flight plan is set in the box. A secondary quick initialization. One engine taxi, you got it. We will do a single engine taxi today. We'll do it's a long taxi out there anyway. We'll do a single engine taxi procedure with the beautiful Carta IAE mod. VTBS, secondary, come back around. If we got to land, we're coming right back to the Zulu 1 right. I'm going to throw that in there. And also for the perf on the 1 right, Zulu, all I care about is being able to get back. Put a 200 DH, 0 for 0 on the wind. 10-12 on the meter, and the ground temp was 22 or 23. We've got that set. So our secondary is set. Christian, I only crashed once. How many times do you need? I got to figure out if the Tolas will actually fly the R&P profile. The 319, I think the 321 will do it just fine. I don't know if our 319 is equipped to properly do it, but I know the what's the Drucare? I can't pronounce the airline that actually flies. Bhutan Airlines in there. They fly 319. So I'd be very curious to see what type of performance or R&P they have to shoot those approaches. It is a heck of an approach in there. I'll tell you what. That is going to be a very exciting stream. But right now we got our secondary set, our RadNav, nothing to hard tune, a NIT B. This is where it gets important here. So I'm going to need a quick conversion. Our required fuel for this flight, gate fuel, I need 10,000 pounds. So if I do a quick conversion here, 10,000 pounds to kilos. Is going to be 4.5 roughly. So why don't we just take an even 5? So what we're going to do, we're going to try this real-time fueling out again. I'm going to come up here. We're going to set pre-selected. I want 5 tons, I guess, with what we need. So I think if I go 5 here, that's our actual, and then I hit on, we should begin fueling. There we go. We are real-time fueling. Love it. Love the real-time fueling feature. I wish there was more of that in all of our add-ons in X-Plane. I think we need real-time fueling and boarding, very similar to how the FlyJ Sim does it, all from the EFB. Team Vodka says, in honor of a single-engine taxi today, I'm going to be single-fisting my drink. I'm disappointed in you, Team Vodka. For a Tuesday afternoon, you should be double-fisting, man. Watch those pillows, though, like Christian said. All right, so our fuel is doing fueling things for passengers. Let's fill it up here. Let's go full load of passengers. We'll set that. For cargo, let's load up a moderate load here. We're going to take 6.1. We'll set that. Pretty heavy 320 out of here today. And our supply, that looks good. So we're waiting on the perf data, but we got to wait for the fuel. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to come here and leave the fuel page open to remind me of what we're waiting for. Orlando Mitch, what's up, man? Says finally able to catch a stream live. Busy. Orlando Mitch, welcome on board, man. We are live. We're cold and dark. We're getting the airplane fired up. We're no longer really cold and dark. We've got the air running. Matter of fact, we're going to fire up the APU here briefly. But one pro tip I'll give you guys. In real life, I don't fill out the init-B page until I get my fuel numbers. And for some reason, I guess they don't put your fuel here. There should be a spot for your fuel. This init-B page is a little bit different than what I'm used to. So to kind of simulate that, I'm going to wait to put in my numbers until we actually have the fueling complete. That's just another check that I do to make sure we don't leave the gate or close any doors without making sure our fuel is on board. So we're gonna hold the preparation checklist here at the zero fuel weight page. And while we do that, let's go ahead and turn on the APU. And we are going to be pack flow norm now since we're taking a full load of passengers. Below 148, I believe, on a 320, I think that number is correct, you can go into normal. Below 148, we do low. I think, yeah, 138 to 319, 148, below 148, you go low. And if you're a high, hot, humid conditions, you can run pack flow high, but it will affect your performance. Scott, your side stick has shipped. Excellent, sir. Referring to, I got a nice little border around mine now. So I've been adjusting the cameras, trying to get the lighting a little bit better for the Captain Cam, we're going to name it. The Captain Cam brought to you by the FSprojects A320 side stick. I know a lot of you guys said that your sticks have started to ship, which is fantastic. We're going to talk about the Flight Factor and my settings that I use for the Flight Factor aircraft. Now the TOLUS, if you don't know already, it's just I turn everything off. Turn off all your curves, turn off all your saturations and any of the stability augmentation. Turn all that stuff off. You don't need it because it flies darn near identical to the real thing as far as the feeling of it when you just have everything off for the TOLUS. Flight Factor, we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But there's our APU. It's online. We'll go ahead and turn off the external power. We'll be good pilots today. We'll go ahead and start the chrono. In order to prevent blowback fumes here from the APU, there's a recommendation now that's an OB from Airbus that says that you should wait 3 minutes before turning on the APU bleed after starting the APU. That's just to prevent any unburnt fuel or if there's any unburnt oil in there. If it had an auto shutdown, it doesn't blow any of that into the cabin. Now, I will say that I was told, now this is something I was told from somebody that's smarter than me. They said if the APU is hot, say you came in from a gate and you're doing a turnaround, right? So you had the APU running, you shut it down, but now you're turning around and leaving, you can go ahead and just start the APU bleed right away because the oil in the APU is already warm. I think that specific APU fume thing is for a cold APU, such as we have here with an aircraft that's sat overnight. We're going to wait the 3 minutes before turning the APU bleed on. Don't quote me on that 100%. That's just something that I was told. I thought I'd pass it along to you. Al W, thank you for all you do. How about those Baylor Bears? Sick 'em, Al. Nice job, man. Well, thank you for the 3-month membership, Al. I appreciate that, sir. Welcome to the stream. Not a bad day here in North Texas. A little bit warmer than it has been. Last couple of days, it was a frozen tundra. So thank you, Al, for your support, man. Slam, your ship too? That is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Where are we at here? We are we almost done fueling? 4.6. Yeah, we're almost done fueling. Let's go ahead and start closing up some other excess doors. We can go ahead and remove these. Let's go ahead and close up the cargo door. Let's take a look at some juicy Carta engines. This is from the realistic view here. So I got the realistic view, and then I also have a non-realistic super juicy view. But we do need to turn on the cabin lights. How dare me. I need a flight attendant to run this airplane here. Let's go lights. Let's just go bright since we're at the gate and we're boarding. So, check this cabin out, guys. Well, Flight Factor cabin here for Thai. Loving it. Fly Smart with, is that a thing? Fly Smart with Thai, is this a real? Yeah, it must be. There it is, Fly Smiles in the headrest. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. All right, there is our fuel, 4.980. I think he's done. So what will happen is this will come off and this will come off. And then what we'll do here, we'll come back to the service panel, go over to the fuel page, remove the fuel truck, perf data. What I'm going to do now is come down here. Let's go wait request. 58. No, our fuel on board is 5.0. 58.8 and 26.6. 26.6. 58.8. That matches. We're looking good. So from now, I'm just going to go perf. Let's fill up these speeds. We're doing a flaps 1, no flex. 130 on the V1 speed. That was plenty good. Look at our fuel. It is on board and balanced. Doesn't look like 5. That looks awfully low, but I guess it's correct. Okay. Fuel pumps are coming on. APU bleed is on. Seatbelt sign is on. It's been 3 minutes. We'll close that. Let's close the door, get a checklist, and get out of here. All right, that is good. Overhead is set. On an auto. All right, windows, doors, and sides closed and armed. Beacon on. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake is on for now. Transponder for VATSIM is going on. TARA. 4-star checklist complete. Let's get out of here.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
I guess we'll go back at a 90 here. Charlie 3.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
What's that going to do for us here? We're pushing off. Yeah, then we're just going to go out Tango 7 Golf, single engine all the way down Bravo, looks like, to runway 01 right. The new CL650 Challenger is stunning. 10% of the systems in the last stream, but I'm not going to watch it this time. Oh, you guys talk about, yeah, that Challenger is looking absolutely awesome. Cannot wait for that. I forgot to get rid of these guys too. Pull the trucks. I have to click on the fuel page for the weights. Tab on tablet. You have to click on fuel page.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Roger. He's connecting. Our trucks are leaving. I love that beacon flashing there. When is Carter CFM out? Whenever he's done. Alright, our trucks are pretty much out of the way. How we looking? We're hooked up there. Toga's hooked up. We'll go ahead and hide the ground handling now.
Tow connected and bypassed in service. Release parking brake.
Brakes released. Clear to push.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Right here. Mike's Basement, what's up, man? Says, hi, everyone. Hope you and your family had a lovely Christmas and a good New Year's Eve. Mike's, thank you. I did indeed have a good Christmas and New Year's. I hope the same for you. Welcome to the stream, sir. Last question, can you explain the arm doors and when you arm them, please? I assumed it was after doors were shut. Roger, so the flight attendants arm the doors. So that call on the checklist, basically before you run the before start checklist, you want to make sure that your doors are closed and armed. So if they're closed, you're going to see green. If they're armed, you're going to have the slide indication. So this is a classic 320. We got 2 overwing exits. These will not be disarmed at any point unless somebody pops them. So you're really looking for these four slide indications here. That means the doors are armed. So before I call for that checklist, I'm looking at my door page. I'm making sure that everything's green. And then I also have to make sure I have the proper amount of slide indications. Where it can get different is if you have different cabin configurations, like on a 321. If you have different overwing exits, the slides will be in different positions. So on a 321 with the forward and aft emergency exit doors, you're looking for all slide indications to extinguish or be on there before you do the checklist. So that's all that means. And that's just, again, that's something the flight attendants do. They will actually arm the doors. All right, I'm probably going to do this. I'm going to go flight attendant panel. Let's go dim 1, dim 1, dim. I love it. We're going to do a single engine taxi like we said, so let's go ahead and fire up a numero uno. Engine mode to ignition start. Got our bleed pressure. Starting engine 1. Jack Mackey, yes, I am on VATSIM. Wow, it is dark.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
There's another Thai aircraft out there. Brakes released. Or brakes set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Brakes set. Clear the disconnect. We're going to do a single engine taxi, so we're going to just go ahead and configure. This will go back to normal. Arm that. Let's extend flaps 1. Yellow electric pump will come on, AP bleed off, engine 1 started. Our takeoff trim is up 0.1, so that's virtually, there we go. Where's our wave off?
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Why not 1 or 2? No, it's especially single engine. You want to have number 1 started first for the braking and nose wheel steering. You have a backup with your yellow electric. If you just start number 2, the P2 is going to run the entire taxi out. There we go. There's our wave off. We'll give them the salute. We'll go ahead and kill the dome light. We got our taxi light on. I'm actually going to go dim on the dome light because we won't be able to see anything here. So we have, we're going to go out Tango 7 Golf. Actually, no, we'll do Tango 7 Hotel. That is a long taxi. I guess it's Charlie? That looks like a narrow one. How about Hotel Bravo? One of the two. Bangkok traffic type 357, gonna taxi to runway 01 right, Tango 7 Hotel Bravo, Bangkok. Alright, you guys ready? Brakes released. Cinematic taxi out with hardly anything to see. This is the BSS sound packs, Sven. BSS. Am I stuck? What is going on here? Having a hard time starting to roll. I mean, talk about some interesting ground friction here. 40% to taxi on one engine? Don't think so. If you do engine 2, doesn't make... Yes. Yeah, that's properly... So, like, there's no PTU running, and in fact, if I turn the yellow off, the high electric... Hear it running now? That's why you start engine 1, because you can run the yellow hydraulics with the electric pump. If you were to start engine 2, the only way to pressurize the green system for nose wheel, well, depending on your hydraulic layout, but for taxi operations, you need your green system pressurized. So the only way to pressurize the green system, if you start number 2 first, is through the PTU. So you'd have to be listening to the PTU the entire taxi out, and you need some sort of redundancy, right? If your PTU fails, you no longer can pressurize the green system. Whereas if I'm running on engine number 1, I have the PTU, and if that fails, I still have my green system pressurized. So that is why I would do that. Gina, what's up, man? It says dinner time. Here's a preemptive yoga. Thank you, Gina. I appreciate that, sir. Yeah, this airplane doesn't really like to single engine taxi all that much. We're not that heavy. Geez, we only have 5 tons of fuel, 63 tons. Yeah, we're not hardly heavy at all. So I'm going to go ahead and start engine 2. So to start engine 2, we're going to go yellow electric pump off, APU bleed on, engine mode to ignition start. We got to wait for our pressure to build up because we have the APU bleed off, so we're waiting for our pressure. There we go. We got PSI. You can see ignition AB is on because we've toggled the ignition start switch, which is an accurate representation. Go ahead and turn engine 2. Alright, so Bravo is the second. It's so dark. I'm going to go ahead and turn the wing light on just so we can see something out there. It's pretty thin, Flight Simmer. It's pretty thin. Alright. Oh, don't give me that start fault. Wow, it is so dark right here. It's like, oh, we're going to taxi real time. fly at night. I don't know why people enjoy night streams, but a lot of you do. A lot of you do, so this is for you. If I'm going to do a night stream, I'm going to do it when there's not really any scenery. So it looks like we're following someone on this taxiway. We got a good start on 2. Let's go ahead and start the chrono for a warm-up time. And we'll go ahead and do the after start flow. That goes back to normal. Flaps are set. Everything is set. APU bleed, and APU can now be shut down. And we'll do our flight control checks. Alright, let's get rolling here. Come on, Flight Factor. Dread for IAE, or see if IAE all the way. Just Angel, IAE all the way for me. The sounds, the looks. I love the IAEs. Alright, flight control. Pull up. Pull down. Neutral. Pull left. Pull right. Neutral rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Gotta buy my rudder disconnect switch still. Auto brakes max. Takeoff config. Weather. TCAS PWS. TARA is set. Just waiting on the cabin call. Takeoff config normal. There we go. I'm watching your taxi with the new X-Pilot VATSIM Velocity engine, and it all looks much smoother. Nice. Yeah, I'm following somebody up here. I'm following a Thai. Oh no, I'm following a CTV 197. Not sure who that is. But we are on the right freak, 122.8, so that's good. Chair from rolling. Make sure my hand's in the right position. Christian says I got the same setup for my throttles now with the dummy in the middle, and it's way better. Heck yeah, man. You gotta have that dummy in the middle, or else it's just, the grips are just way too small. They're just way too small, in my opinion. But yeah, good stuff, Christian. And you can still use everything. Like I still got my disconnect push button over here on this one. I still got my reversers. And actually the reversers are in a proper position now, because in the real airplane, I used my left index finger is on the number 1 reverser, and my ring finger, it's hard to see, my ring finger over here is on the engine 2 reverser. So it lines up almost perfect for me when I do the dummy throttle in the middle. I'm dual taxiing with Flight Deck the Sim. Nice. I know. I saw that he was streaming right before I went live too. I got a notification on my phone. I didn't know that. Maybe I should have adjusted my slot maybe 30 minutes or so. But we're here. Too bad I'm not in the A300. We could send him an A-Cars again. That would be the ultimate. I'm gonna get my chair to stop moving on me. I think we're good now. I need to watch your side stick movements. I think I might have some funky landings at Scott. Well, I'm glad you brought it up. Let's see, our time is, we got 2 minutes to go for 5, we'll be good. So I'm glad you brought that up, Scott. So if you're waiting your FSprojects stick, and I'm speaking specifically to the Thrustmaster award, the Thrustmaster magnetic base is what I'm running underneath here. Got this beautiful, what do they call this? The little rubber thing around it. But underneath it is the Thrustmaster magnetic base. And in that setup, if you're going to run TOLUS, turn everything off. Curves off, linear, no stability augmentation. For the flight factor, on the non-beta version, so on the stable version, the flight model just does not feel correct. And I think it is just too sensitive or too responsive, maybe is more of a proper way to put it. So you have to put a little bit of curve, and I wouldn't even say curve, I use a little bit of saturation, and if I was in it I would show you. But what I have done now is I've switched to the experimental flight model, or not the experimental flight model, the beta version. The beta version has a new flight model, and it is much more realistic. So with the beta version of the Flight Factor 320, I do the same exact thing with the TOLIS. I turn everything off. No stability augmentation, no curves, make sure it's all linear, and it flies very, very nice. In the stable version, you have this really weird rotation logic that's just way too fast, and it doesn't quite handle like a real 320 does. It just feels too responsive, almost like you're flying an F-16, really. It's very responsive in the non-beta version of the Flight Factor. So if you're going to be rocking this Flight Sim Project setup, I highly suggest that you try to run the beta version of the Flight Factor if that's your go-to airplane. So thought I'd throw that out there, but yeah, running the beta version, it hand flies really, really nice again. So maybe there's just something broken in the stable version flight model. So we cannot see jack out here. If he's rotating, Bangkok traffic type 357 going to line up and wait runway 01 right to Bangkok. Let's go ahead and line it up. Go strobes on, and we'll extend these, but we won't turn them on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You ready? We're ready. The throttle quadrant is from Honeycomb. This is the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant, is what you see here. This is the Bravo. Gator, that's what it is. Thank you, Slam. Yeah, the Gator. It's called the Gator. And this is like the exact same material that's made that the real thing is made of. It literally is. This feels like I'm in the real airplane. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, it's just legit. I feel like I'm grabbing a real side stick now when I have this set up. And the Gator just, I mean, it's just adds that cherry on top. All right, so he's just got airborne. We'll give him about a minute or two here as we line up. That was, I don't think my nose wheel steering is working all that well. I gotta adjust that too. Still waiting on a tiller. Still waiting on a good tiller. Maybe Honeycomb will come out with one. Who knows? Nothing like eating up a couple hundred feet of runway, but line up. That's right. We'll put it here on the marks. It looks like we are just in an abyss. That is the Thrustmaster base, Ozzy. Yes, it is. We can't see anything. That view looks pretty sweet, though. Just sitting there waiting. SimPilot, what's up? You recently bought the Flight Factor 320 and I can't figure out how to download the beta. SimPilot Dave, so in your Flight Factor aircraft folder, in the actual folder, there is a, what is it called? It's the, there's an updater client. It's inside of the folder itself, and you just double click that, and I think it's the Flight Factor connector updater, something like that, and it'll give you an option to do a fresh install or to do the beta, and just check beta, and then it will install, it will overwrite your files, and it will load up the beta version. And it ships with a different, it ships with a, I wouldn't say ships, but the beta has a different flight model for sure. All right, he's out of there. Let's light it up. Love those lights. I mean, that looks freaking real. No lie, this is what a night takeoff looks like on a runway. I mean, when there's no moon, some scattered clouds, this is what you're looking at. Runway lights. This looks better than the actual sim I train on. This looks freaking awesome. Bangkok traffic, Thai 357 going to be departing runway 01 right, Bangkok. All right, you guys ready? We're going to spool them up 50. The yoga's in chat. Gotta love it. All right, nose forward on the stick. Man, Toga, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. 100 knots. Check. V1. Rotate. Brake. Gear up. Navin. probably won't be able to see much. How cool is that? Stay in those flight director bars. There's our positive trend in airspeed, a little bit of nose forward, coming back. Thrust climb, climb, auto thrust. All right, now this is something that's so real. Watch when I go flaps 0. See how the aircraft pitches up a little bit of forward pressure. That's what I do, just with my thumb, just like in the real airplane. Once you go flap 0, even though you're fly-by-wire, even though it's maintaining 0 or 1G, when you have that wing configuration change, you do feel that in the real airplane, and it feels so realistic with this side stick setup. We'll go ahead and disarm the spoil brakes as well. We're going to hand fly this sucker out. Right at 2,500 feet, so we can take our hands off the throttle. In the turn, I'm going to fly it basically from the window here since there's not much to see. Sharp turn coming up there. What is that? BS 105. But yeah, that flap configuration, the Tolus does it as well. And when you have this setup, I'm telling you, you guys that have your ships or your sticks that are being shipped right now, you're going to be like, wow, this is awesome. But yeah, it just takes, all it takes is just a little bit of forward pressure. And literally all I do is I kind of double tap, just like that. When you go flap 0, and the real airplane does do the same thing. It's just really cool when I can feel and do the same muscle memory movements that I do in the real airplane, and I can do it here in the sim. It translates so well. I think the flight director behavior is a little bit incorrect, though. It almost feels like the flight director follows. Yeah, you see how the flight director follows the pitch there? I don't know. Maybe it's just my eyes, but it's very hard to see. I don't know if it's you guys. I don't think it's you guys. I don't think it's YouTube. I think it's because I'm looking at what you guys are seeing, but what I'm seeing on my screen too, I don't know if it's the beta or what, but it feels like it's harder to see the command bars there. What version of Flight Factor? It's the latest beta version. That's what it is. How long till descent? Let me give you top of the climb. Let me see here. Well, I'll tell you what, we're supposed to be landing at 23:56. Sim time is 23, so we're supposed to be landing in 53 minutes, so probably 20-30 minutes from now. There's 10,000 feet. We'll go ahead and kill the lights. I'm going to leave the wing light on so we can see. Ding the forward cabin, let them know we're at a 10.
Yes, sir.
Here we go, we're going to start accelerating. Just a little bit of forward pressure, get that box. You want to squeeze the black out of that box there. We'll go ahead and set standard 1, 2, and 3. Come on. There it is. Standard set, jeez. And I know BSS has a really loud wind sound there. We'll turn it down a little bit. Let's go ahead and straighten out the line here, shall we? Let's go direct BS 107, insert. Here comes the turn. Just crank it over. Put it where you want it. Virtually let go. I mean, just, this brings the joy of hand flying back to the Airbus to me. I might hand fly this thing all the way up the cruise. Or maybe after we get straight, we won't. But put it where you want it, let it go. A bit more pitch there. Where's the guy that's climb out speed? Let's go ahead and let's do 310 in the climb out. Zoom that out. Looks like we got one other. Is that say disco? Interesting. Disco is short term for discontinuity, but it's actually a waypoint called disco. Let's see if we can see anything with a flyby here. Nope. see hardly nothing. But that looks like a cool shot right there. Oops, sorry, I got my phone on. That looks cool with the road down there. Yes, I want to buy an Airbus for X-Plane, but I don't know if Flight Factor told us. Just Angel, watch my Flight Factor versus told us video, and they can find out. Oh my goodness. That's a Flight Factor bug. See, once you go above 330 knots, the volume just goes ear destruction mode. That's my fault. I should have been adjusting my pitch a little bit there, but man alive. Yeah, above 320 knots, it goes freak out mode. Yeah, autopilot's still up. Have I ever had a hand fly a whole flight? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yeah, you can definitely in-op autopilot. I've done it in the Airbus. I've done it in the Embraer. The Embraer was much, much worse, as you can imagine. I mean, the Airbus is not really a big deal at all when you hand fly it, but yeah, the Embraer, a little bit more work. Let's go ahead. I want to straighten out the line. Let's go direct ducking. Maybe we can fly all these turns. There we go. In the turn. Here we go. Crank it over. Remember, you're commanding a roll rate and G load. So it doesn't matter how fast you actually move the stick, the aircraft is going to roll at the same rate. So just put it where you want it, let go, make your corrections, put it back where you want it, let it sit. This is especially important if you're doing a very windy landing. You're coming in, there's got a strong crosswinds, gust, turbulence. You don't want to over control. You know, a lot of times I see guys that they start to have a tendency to over control the stick. They start making all these movements that aren't really necessary, and you start getting into those PIOs or pilot-induced oscillations, which we've already talked about. But we're pretty much a straight shot from here on out, so I'm going to go ahead and turn Autopilot 1 on. We'll go ahead and bring you guys back to the regular cam. Turn that off for 310. It's going to be a smooth ride. We'll go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off, let them run. Turn down the audio a little bit. It's still pretty loud out there, isn't it? Let's go ahead and turn this down. Let's do like 35, 20 on the audio. Still seems really loud. Turn that down. Now we can hardly hear anything. Could barely see anything right now. We'll stay on the engine view inside here for a little bit. Let me come back here, change this. There we go, just ever so light. BSS Flight Factor. Blue Mac, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. Yeah, that's definitely what it is. Alright, there we go. Let's get some tunes in here. We are on our way, folks. I'm looking for a new chair. What do I have? I have one of the just a really common like a S racer chair, whatever. It's got wheels on it. I don't love the wheel part, but I kind of just put my flip flop or something under the wheel to keep it from rolling. But that's what I have. It's got the armrest is a good height for me. So I talked about armrest position before. And if you look at the camera, if you see my armrest, it's right here. So I highly, 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 highly recommend that if you're going to do this setup with the Flight Sim Projects yoke, and especially if you're using the Warthog or the Thrustmaster base, because it's going to feel way stiffer than you're probably used to, and that's not a bad thing. You just have to have the proper leverage and the proper angle. So number one, you want to make sure that your hand is resting parallel on your armrest and you're touching the base of the stick. Almost all the time you see me putting my pinky right here because it's resting on this plate on the side stick. That's just what I do in the real airplane. I set it up just like that, so I have a nice control, nice leverage on the side stick, and I'm not going to be fatigued. If your armrest is too high and you're trying to move your wrist, you're not going to be able to control the fine movements, and if it's down like this, well, it's just downright uncomfortable. You'll have a tendency to over grab the stick and do some over correcting. But it's very, very important that you get a proper setup with your chair, almost as important as having the proper configuration settings in your X-plane, because if you get this set up but you don't have an armrest, and you don't have, I'm not saying you can't do it without an armrest, but it's going to be much more comfortable with an armrest. The most critical aspect is the height, though. You want to make sure you have it at a proper height. If you were to put this up on your table, it's going to be very challenging to get used to, and it's also going to be very fatiguing. So that's just a little bit about that, the positioning there. You deployed the analog compass by mistake? What do you mean, Dimitri? I deployed... Oh, in the cockpit? I sure did. Look at that. That's my NOTAM. That's my... tell myself that we're forgetting something still. Sim Pilot, you got the update? Awesome, man. Good deal. Greetings from Norway. Welcome, Tor. Welcome. If you go past the last fix and arrival in Discon, does the FC automatic go to heading mode specifically? Told us. Scott, I'm not sure if it was you that I was talking to in the Discord, but so in the real airplane, if you fly past the last fix, there's probably going to be a vector fix on there that the airplane will draw and just track. But if there isn't, if you fly into a disco or nothing in your flight plan, the airplane will automatically revert. You'll get the triple chirp, toot, 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 and it'll go into heading mode. Now, as far as the TOLUS 321 is concerned, I can't remember if I've tested that recently. It should go into track mode or heading mode if you fly into a disco. I have not actually tested it, Scott, but it should indeed go into a reversion mode. If you're navving along your flight plan here, like say you had duck-in, then there was nothing after duck-in, you would want to make sure that you caught it, because if you flew into that disco, you'll get that chirp, 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 and it'll just go heading. Actually, it might even go into track mode. I think it'll revert to track. She was having a hard time climbing out, didn't she? Let's go ahead and dial it back, 300. There we go. Now we're getting some climb rate. In your heart of hearts, do you think we have become the jack of all trades and master of none with all these plane add-ons we bought? Dimitri, I think that's just the nature of flight simmers in general, man. We like to get all these new planes, and we very seldomly dive into the nitty-gritty depths to become a master of a certain airplane. I 100% think that's just the nature of us as simmers. On a personal level, I like to try to master certain airplanes. Now, it's been hard as of late because the only time I can get on my sim, I have to come to the office, right? But when I had my sim in my house, I would try to really fly certain airplanes, and that's why I appreciate, in my simming, airplanes that offer that extra level of depth, because I'm looking for that ability to, or the opportunity to master an airplane in either sub modes or being able to fly all different approaches. But here's the kicker to all of that. In my opinion, if you don't have an airplane that simulates wear and tear and simulates saved state and simulates or simulates random failures, there is no need to become a master of any of them. And I was talking about this with Jungly because we were talking about the TBM, the Hot Start TBM 900, and we flew that airplane. We were doing a round the world tour, just him and I. We were sharing the airframe, and you had to become a master at that airplane because everything was tracked, everything would wear down. You had to know what would happen in situations that were abnormal because it could, just like the real thing, put you in an abnormal situation. Now, airplanes like the Flight Factor, unfortunately, unless you are actually training and making your own faults and triggering your own faults, again, there's really no need to learn at the mastery level of this airplane. But you look at something like the TOLUS with the random fault feature, to me, that is a driving factor of like, oh, if I wasn't typed on the airplane, I'm like, oh, I want to learn all the ins and outs of this airplane because I'm going to fly with random faults on, because faults are indeed random in the real world too. Like, so one day you'll just have a random failure, like, where did that come from? Now, obviously, it's wear and tear of real parts and real mechanical things, but in the sim, that's as close as we can get, is having a random fault. So I wish we had more airplanes that had that. I know the FlyJ Sim does it. Now, I'm particularly excited for the Challenger 650 from Hot Start because if I don't know if you guys have caught any of the streams. I've caught a few minutes of the streams, but it's all there. I mean, they really spared no they really spared nothing from what I can tell. I mean, it's all there. So I'm looking forward to that Challenger 650 and being able to dig in and try to become a master of that airplane as well. But it all comes back to, hey, you get in an airplane like this is the Zibo 73, or what else do we have? The IXEG 737, or the INI A300 even. I mean, as good as that airplane is, because there's no random fault activator, there really is no need to try to become a master of that airplane. But it doesn't mean I don't love the airplane and I don't love flying it, because I sure do. I definitely do. So it's just a trade-off. I wish we had more of it in the sim. Is really what I'm getting at. Like the FlyJ Sim stuff, they have random. Okay, is my sky gonna flicker the whole time? Because if it is, we're just gonna come back in here. The FlyJ Sim stuff, you can wear it down on the 727. I love that. I love that stuff. Am I going to get the 650 early? No, I'm not part of the Hot Start team or anything like that. I wish. But no, as far as I'm concerned, I am not getting that early. The Flight Factor, too sensitive. I was scrolling back. Diego, yes. If you don't use the beta version, the flight model just feels very incorrect. You got to go to the beta version, unfortunately. I believe the 650 won't have random failures on release, actually, maybe further down the line. Yeah, Christian, I think that's what they're aiming at too. But I mean, they've got it all there, right? They already have everything modeled, so maybe down the line, all they have to do is model wear like they do on their TBM. And if they have a model to wear parts down, then it would be one of the best add-ons to hit the sim again. I mean, I'm sure it's already going to be one of the best. Because if you look at the detail and the depth that they have gone to create that airplane, it's pretty impressive. Andre says that Toto showed that even satellites coverage is simulated and every burst is working. I know, Andre, that is insane. It is literally a real airplane in the sim. So I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. In the Flight Factor, you can set random fault set time on average 500 minutes. That gives an interval around that time frame, so a failure can occur every 10. Interesting, Roll. I haven't messed with that. I know I've used the failures for just training purposes, but yeah, I guess you can add a random average 500 minutes. That's very interesting, Roll. Might have to look into that. Maybe for the next one, we'll set that up. We'll set that one up for the next flight. Do the wing lights stay on? No, they don't. I just do it because it's so dark. There's nothing to see. We gotta look at something out there. Perfect 99, 2 great cities to visit. Yes, sir. Did I pay a lot for my pilot education? Yeah. Yeah, it sure did, man. Sure did. Took a long time to pay it off, too. What livery are we in today, Chris? We are in the Thai Smiles. Can't quite see it yet. The sun is starting to peak. It's getting ready to start coming up. There's really nothing to look at down below, so I'm okay with it. Is this aircraft good to study the real 320 systems? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's there, man. There's a lot of it that is there. A lot of the abnormal stuff, as far as I wouldn't say a lot of, but the fly-by-wire, I don't even know how to go there. Normal operations, yes. Yes, it is. Remember maybe a year ago you did a flight and you did trivia, very fun stream? Yeah, we're going to have to bring back some of the trivia, Rex. We should bring back some of the trivia. I was actually going to bring my iPad today and actually do some of that. That's where I get, so all those questions that I ask are from actual study guides. So that's where I get those questions from. They're actual study guides for when I go in for recurrent or whatnot. And I was going to bring my iPad today because I wanted to look up the MEL. You know, we talked about that Vietnam, 1543 flight where they had that whole gear debacle. And indeed, apparently there is an MEL for, I guess you can defer an entire brake assembly, which I have to look to see if it's in our book. I didn't see it initially, but I was going to look it up today. Somebody gave me the MEL number on the last stream that we did, so I'm going to look it up, see if it's in my book. Apparently you can in-op an entire brake assembly. That's why you have to wait a minute so the gear slows down. Very interesting. I found a 700 plus PDF on the McDo. You answered my question exactly the way it was written in the PDF. Nice, Scott. Nice. How often do I encounter faults in real life? Blue Bear, hey, when I do encounter them, it's on go home day, last day of a trip. Every couple of flights, man. I don't know. When you say faults, what do you mean? I mean, I've had flights where, or I've had trips where every single flight, there's been some small thing broken. Why do we want to manage up? There we go. We'll do 280. That's good. That looks good. We got a nice little crosswind right now. What's our arrival time? 167 miles out, 23:55. We actually need to bump that up just a little bit. There we go. Now we're starting to get just a tiny bit of light. What we'll do now, we'll go ahead and turn the lights off. We'll go ahead and turn the dome light off, turn the wing light off. There we go. We want to be landing at about 7 minutes past the hour. Ooh. I don't know. Which one do you like better? The no window or realistic view? I kind of like the realistic view. But anyway, Blue Bear, to get back to your question, it's so random, dude. It's so random. I mean, there's trips where nothing will go wrong, and then there's trips where everything seems to go wrong. I can't put a time on it. What I'll do is a lot of times I'll post a picture to the members, either on YouTube community page or in the V1 After Dark Discord. I'll show you guys a screenshot of what I'm dealing with. I had one airplane that was downgraded to Cat 2 or Cat 3 the other day. Cat 2 single, I think. Had a couple other MELs on it. Let me see if I have the picture on my phone, actually. Some unexpected ECAM issues. Man, Blue Bear, it's random. It really is. But I tell you what, Murphy's Law, or Murphy does exist, because the worst possible time to get one is when you will get it. Blue Bear. Let me see. I think I have a picture in my phone of one of the last flights I did. We swapped into an airplane for go home day. Let me see if I have it here. I saw it here at some point. I don't know where I did with it. Here we go. Aircraft downgraded. Oh, it was Cat 3 single. What was wrong with this airplane? I can't remember. Cat 3 single. What caused that downgrade? I can't remember off the top of my head, but I don't know. Man, we're getting all kinds of memos for this 5G interference now. Apparently, the Airbus can do some really nasty things if you get erroneous RAD-out information. So, I guess they're suspending the rollout of that now because the airlines are threatening to sue. But let's go ahead and start setting up for our arrival here. VTCC. We need to get in our perf data. We're going to land on runway 36, right? Approach ILS 36. Airport 10-9. What do we got here? We've got an 11,000 foot runway. Thank you, Steve. I did. Always good to see you as well, bud. And active sky weather. So let's go perf. I want to descend at 7.8 and 320 knots. All right. Weather in Chang Mai is, wow, 0. Wind. No excuses. 18 degrees. 10-15 on the meter. Very mild, very mild. All right, this approach we're going to have to dissect a little bit here, but we are Cat C aircraft. 1410 is our minimum. That is set. Engine out, thrust reduction 2540, okay. Can't circle west, which I'm not planning on circling, so VTCC 36 in the box here on the prog page. We got 132 miles straight line distance. What I'm going to do is we're going to go terrain on ND. We'll use manual brakes, full flaps, full reverse. Put you back on here. We should be down at 001. Perfect. All right, so let's look at this approach chart on the wing here while we... sun is rising. Beautiful. All right, here we go. 109.9 ILS runway 36 into Chang Mai. Missed approach, climb straight ahead, then a right turn. So there's terrain. We got high terrain right off our left, so we got to be careful of that. Multiple different arrival sector altitudes here, the highest of which is this 8,000 footer off to the northwest there. Holding fix is over Chang Mai. Basically, a missed approach, you turn out, fly around, join an arc. Wow, that would be something if we had to go missed. You actually join an arc to EASTA and hold. Golly, that sucks. We're coming in on the EASTA transition at 7,000 feet. Pretty simple for us. We're just going to hit that transition inbound. McCock is at 5,600 feet. We got a 3-degree path. And if we've got, so I forget what that stands for. South lighting at Pappy's, 1,700 climbing right turn, no circle to the west of 1836. We know why. There's high terrain. Hold on, what did I do here? When missed approach climb gradient minimum can be achieved. I don't know if we can meet this climb gradient, so that's why I'm going with the more conservative 1410. 4%, 243 foot per nautical mile. That's pretty high, I think. Isn't that? That's a pretty steep climb gradient. So we're going to just go with the safe 1410. A little bit higher minimum, but there's, like I said, there's 0 weather to worry about, so it's going to be a beautiful approach. Nothing to worry about there. Landing 3-6, we'll roll it out to Delta, double back on Papa, go ahead and park at the passenger terminal and call it a day, because then we got to start prepping for Paro Bhutan, which is going to be one hell of a stream. Actually, where are we at? We need to start down. Let me go ahead and, do I have 7,000 set for Ista? Ista should be at 7. Ista is a hard altitude of 7 and 250. Let's go ahead and set 7,000 feet. And we are about ready to start down. Push it, manage descent. Here we go, nose it over. I guess we'll turn up the sounds now. Short flight, but we had to get in position because going from Bangkok all the way to Paro is over 1,000 miles. I didn't really want to stream for, oh boy, didn't really want to stream for 3+ hours. Maybe crash. That looks cool right there, though. I saw somewhere in the approach to Teterboro where you break off runway 6, go to runway 1 over MetLife. I think that might be my first flight in the Challenger. Dude, that sounds pretty fun. I still can't believe you actually read the stickers on that engine. I know, Roll. It's Carta's engines, man. They're insane. Yeah, that Crossman. We got a 90 knot Crossman right here. Have I run into any passengers that happen to be sim enthusiasts? Alex 5150? Not in recent times, my friend. Not in recent times. I have not. We'll be doing some flights in Europe in 22. Mike's basement? Perhaps. Perhaps. We'll have to see what Microsoft Flight Simulator, what happens in Microsoft. I might do some more Europe flying in that sim. In fact, I actually wanted to do this flight in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it needed a 116 gigabyte update because I haven't updated it in a couple cycles. So I have a 116 gigabyte update I have to do. I didn't have the space. So I said, screw it. I'm done with Microsoft Flight Simulator until I get my new SSD. I ordered a new SSD, 4 terabytes, and then I got to do some work. I was trying to hold out for X-Plane 12 because I want to do a fresh install of X-Plane 12. I got to move some stuff around, but the problem is I'm out of... Oh my gosh, that's good. I'm out of hard drive slots, so I got to remove a hard drive, and that's just going to be a pain in the butt. Scott... Man, that bank angle checks in chat. That scared me, man. Thank you so much for the $20 bomb. I appreciate it, sir. He says, thanks for creating and being so involved with the viewers in your channel and your Discord server. Scott, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. It's been a little hectic the last couple of days with the holidays and all that. And today, or last night, actually, we have a doggy emergency. I got the wife took the dog to the vet today, but having an issue with her ear. So it's been a busy couple of days, but I do appreciate that. Thank you for your support, Scott. I appreciate that $20 dono, man. I'm definitely going to be having a drink after this stream. Go home and relax. Got some time off now for a couple of days. I don't think I'm actually back to work until just after the weekend. So thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. Everything makes the front look like the thrust reverse is out a little bit. You got your Microsoft Flight Sim on an M2 drive? Jeez, Christian, how big is that M2 drive? Mar exclamation point specs. I got a 1070. Ooh, Team Vodka. Yeah, that's good. I saw that comment too. Oh, okay. Are we in the? We're in the super. Flight Factor, or I'm sorry, BSS off and sound zone. Let me go ahead and change this real quick. Let's go Spoid Breakout. It's like, there we go. Now we're back to normal sounds. Golly, I can't believe he still has that bug, hasn't fixed it. It's just annoying. But that's a great question you got there. So someone asked about the current issue between airlines and Verizon and AT&T with 5G rollout. So Team Vodka, let me, oh yeah, I think I still have it on my phone. So we started getting these, every time there's an emergency memo, it's called an OB or an OEB, an ops bulletin. And basically that's something that's not in your manuals yet, but it's very important and you need to check it out. So we got one regarding the 5G rollout. And I think I have a screenshot of it here. I wish I had my iPad. Okay, so yeah, here's an issue. This is a big freaking problem. I'll get to it in a second. Flight 477, thank you for the $5 super chat, sir. Just want to say thank you for all you do for us Flight Sim community. Flight Force, hey, you guys drive the channel. The chat drives the streams. I appreciate you guys just as much. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat, sir. Very much appreciated. Thank you. So here's a big problem here. OEB number 46, 1.0, no engagement of guidance mode. Yeah, you think that's a problem? Here's the kicker. No engagement of guidance mode at 300 feet RA. So if RA transmits an erroneous height indication, which is known to happen with 5G interference, this may have any of the following effects on the auto flight system depending on the flight phase. However, these effects may not necessarily occur in every case of an erroneous RA height indication. But basically, no engagement of guidance mode. So if you're expecting a glide slope intercept, maybe you're in an open descent and you're going through the final approach fix and you don't get a glide slope star and you don't catch it, now you're just open descent into the ground. There's a couple other serious issues that can happen. There is a whole list of things which I'll probably talk about maybe on the next stream because it's going to be a little bit longer of a flight going over to Paro. But now we've actually introduced a new call out called Radio Altimeter Alive. We had a new emergency bulletin for that. Basically, we have to monitor and verify that the rad out is getting proper information, and we have to track it because if it gets an erroneous indication, it could mess with the guidance mode and the engagement mode. Let's see here. I don't know. So there's a couple more. I can't read it all on my phone, but yeah, it was causing a huge issue for a lot of airplanes, and I think the airlines threatened to sue, and so now they backed out. They've backed off, and they're holding on releasing it. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll have more on that for sure. Perhaps on the next stream when I'll actually bring my iPad in and we'll talk about it more. Ooh, that's got a cool shot there. Sun rising. I wish we had some more clouds so it didn't look this ugly ground textures, but it is what it is. How's performance on the latest iteration of the Flight Factor? It's not terrible. Not terrible. I'm getting 40 FPS, but you got to remember I'm over default terrain right now, so I didn't want to do all the ortho and all that stuff for literally one flight. This is the flight from here to here on this stream was probably one of the worst scenery flights that we've got. There's hardly any terrain except right now, so I'll try to have some ortho for the next one. I got a scenery for Paro, which is kind of nice, but it's going to be interesting. You still waiting on Starlink? I am, Christian. They said now that I did get a notification it's supposed to be Q1 of 22, so who knows. They gave me a reason for the delay and I forget what it was. So. Do I ever feel burnout? Yeah, man, of course. It's just normal. Got our terrain mode on. $14.2, 300 on the speed. Let's go direct to Ista. Speed, there we go, in the turn. Aviation 121, VTCC, good to see my hometown airport. IAE engine's looking very good. Thank you, Aviation 121, for the support, man. I appreciate, or 2121. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Team Vodka, you crazy man. Team Vodka coming in with a $50 super chat bomb. Dude, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that dono, dude. Grab some ortho and scenery for Paro. I know your eyes are probably burning looking at this terrain right now, aren't they, dude? Thank you so much for the $50 bomb. I appreciate that, sir. Very, very much appreciative of that. Yes, indeed, I have picked up a scenery for Paro. I'm definitely going to be doing some ortho around there as well. But I appreciate your support on the channel. Thank you so much, Vodka. Hopefully you don't need any new pillows soon, because hopefully that doesn't cut into your pillow fund. But I guess if you freeze them, you can always thaw them out. But I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. Cheers to you, brother. Imagine if I didn't have the V1 HQ, would have lost you completely. I know, Miss Jungles, it would have been awful, wouldn't it? It would have been awful. Once I get Starlink, are you going back to the home office? Rex, it will depend. It'll depend on how, I'm going to do some test streams on it. But if I do, then yeah, of course. I don't need to spend the overhead on renting an office space, but yeah. Oh, that's cool. We're leveling off there. Engines thrusting up. This is the part about real flying that I wish I could do. I want to be able to see this in real life. This is about as close as we get. What am I doing? The Paro stream? It should be the next flight out of here, lights. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, man. I don't know when or what day exactly I will be doing it. This Friday, I think we're going to dedicate to the Challenger 600. But let's see. So my wife's birthday is on the 6th, so I won't be able to stream then. I don't think I can do it tomorrow, so it might have to, and I don't know if I can do it this weekend, so it'll be a few days probably. But we're looking good. We're descending into some terrain. We're out of that. Oh, we needed to slow to 250. Let's go 250 there. We're a little bit fast. Speeding. 1012, 1012. Or no, what is it now? Minus saying 1013. 1013 is set. Now we're out of 10,000 feet, so let's go ahead and turn on the lights here. Let's get them on. We don't have an ATC. We're just going to light it up. Seatbelts on. Let them know we're in landing mode.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, that's a cool shot right there. I do love the Batavia mod on this Flight Factor. It does make it look freaking awesome. There's no lie about that. Alright, here we go. We should have our LS push buttons on. Let me get the volume set up. Our final landing checks. We are set 95 across the board, 7,000 at Easta. Macaque is at 5,600, so we'll go ahead and just set that. Continue coming down on the VNAV profile. We do need to slow down at some point. Let's go ahead and bring it back to 180 right now. We're going to get a little high on profile, so we need a little bit of spoid brake action. So when Starlink arrives, can we expect more Beagles in the loft streams? Oh my gosh. Yeah, when that freaking oldest one got locked in the loft, that was something. I thought for sure he was going to fall through the roof. Number one, my wife would have killed me. Number two, it would have been a pain to repair. And number three, hopefully he would have been okay. Not in that order. We're below VFE 10. VFE next minus 10, flaps 1. I still don't know which view. I love looking at the cart engines through the Batavia window. Like that shot right there is real life, minus the ortho. That is a cool shot. We are still a little bit high on profile, so spoil break out. Go ahead and arm it. Glide slope blue, a low blue, Autopilot 1+2, Cat 3 dual, VFE next -10. Flaps 2. Spoid brakes for track. Am I still liking the Bravo? Heck yeah, man. Matter of fact, it's Bravo time. Maybe we should just turn it all off, hand fly this whole approach. What do you say? Lokestar, why do I have a reversion? Oh, look, we were downgraded to Cat 1 for some reason. Speed Alt Star, Lokestar, 180 on the speed. What was field elevation? 1,000 feet, so 2,000. 3,000 feet is 2,000 above. There's our Cat 3 dual. Probably should activate confirm as well. We already flew through it. There we go, 137. One thing I have noticed about this mode, and I know it's always been the float factor, but it really likes to float now. Oh, I didn't even know he was on final. We should start slowing down. Chang Mai traffic, Thai 357. We're on a 15-mile final for a 3.6 Chang Mai. Let's go ahead and slow it up to the final approach speed. I had no idea he was back there. Gear down. Auto thrust is coming off. Idle. High thrust levers. Let's go. We got replay to watch, so we will go autopilot off. Love pressing that disconnect button up there. Let's go flight directors off, which I had bound, but apparently I don't have bound anymore. Flight directors off. And give me the bird. Bird is on. VFE next -10 plus a lot. Flaps 3. Little pitch down moment there. And VFE next -10 flaps free. And flight attendant panel. I hate having to do this though. Oh, I don't know what I did. Whatever. Not the right button. It's weird. I'm totally in belief that I have the IAEs on, but I look at it over here and I got EPers. I'm actually going to go LS push button on just so I have a reference. I was looking to set an EPer value, and I'm like, oh, that's right, we're in a Flight Factor, which doesn't come with IAE options. A little bit more juice here, we'll get stabled on the slope. I mean, yeah, she's just flying nicely there. We are on speed, gear down, flaps full. We configured early because we wanted to slow down for the CTV traffic. All right, so now we're on it. Let's go ahead and bring that power out. About 57-ish%.
2,500.
Maybe a little less. Yeah, I see him up there. He's still pretty close. Need to arm the speed brakes. Now, what did we do here with this flight attendant panel? I don't want this. I want cabin status, cabin ready. Should be ready. I don't know. We'll see. We'll go below 2,000 RA. Need a little bit less. A little bit high on slope. Correcting. There we go. Landing check is cabin crew advised. Auto thrust to speed. Actually, disregard. Auto thrust is off. Auto brakes off, ECAM memo, landing, all green, a landing checklist is complete. We are on slope, a little left of center line, correcting. Runway is in sight, landing. Now I haven't done an auto thrust landing off in the Flight Factor in a long time, so I hope it goes all right. Exclamation point sky, Leonardus, for the for everything. We're on the lope, we're on the slope, 2 whites, 2 reds. Now This is beautiful, actually. For default scenery, this looks beautiful right here. Coming in early dawn. Zero wind. We got a 3-knot tailwind right up the pipe.
1,000.
Very stable. Which I would imagine this is exactly how it is right now. They're cool. No winds, no thermal activity, no convective activity. Got that dense morning air. I love morning approaches like this. It's just like you're skiing on a lake with no boats, just glass. Now watch me totally miff the landing. I think I moved the landing rate to pop up on the top left, so we'll see if it works or not. Alright, let's focus here.
100 above.
About
500.
47% is where it wants to be.
Minimum 400.
Landing. He's clear.
300. 200.
Ooh, a little bit of a balloon there.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Whew. Oh my goodness. That way you believe me. I thought it would pop up on the top left. $70 knots. We had a juicy butter on one landing rate. We had a firm landing on the other one. You take your pick. I'll take the juicy butter. I think we smoked our brakes. That was a near smash. That was a 100% near smash, though. That was a 100% near smash. He's clear. Ooh, CityLink. Wait, the CityLink? Is this like CityLink territory? Is that where CityLink flies? Chang Mai traffic at Thai 357 will clear up on like 36 over the ramp. Chang Mai. Alright, let's clean it up. Look at this guy landing right here. Oh yeah. Christian, no, for real. I thought I had it switched to the top left. I gotta figure out how to move it. I have it on the bottom left. I gotta figure out how to move it top left. Because that's what happens as it keeps popping up below the rate. I guess we don't need that cam anymore. Oh, check your spoilers. I love that. This is the one sound that BSS has absolutely nailed. Listen to that idle. 100% straight out of the airplane. Where'd Mr. CityLink go? I was going to park next to you. Oh, there he is. IFR Captain, I agree, man. I can't wait for that Challenger. It's going to be awesome. Go ahead and get the view fired up. Thank you, E-Boss. I appreciate that, man. Take care of yourself, brother. There she is. Oh, he's going to... These are those funky turn-in gates, or lead-in lines. I never understood why they do this. They do these in South America, too. All right, we'll take the one next to him. Gate number 4. Crank it over early because I don't have proper nose wheel steering set up. Oh yeah, we're way wide. I don't have a proper tiller set up. That's what my problem is. Oh boy. Turning into another LaGuardia bourbon stream here, trying to park it. We love butter signs, Robert. I agree, man. I'm gonna figure out how to move it again. More a little crooked. More a little crooked. It'll have to do. Alright, APU is up. Engine 2. Seatbelts. Engine 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chang Mai. XP, what's up, man? Good to see you around, bud. I love the spool down, though. You call that parking? Yeah, I know, right? Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. Love the Thai smile. What was the other? Was that another Thai airplane? Oh, that's is that the Paro livery? No. There's a Swiss. That's probably just some mistaking model matching there. Oh, I don't know. Alright, let's take a look at the replay mode. Replay. Replay here. Disconnect from OVATSIM. We gotta see how we save that landing, because that one was gonna be ugly. No replay sound still, which sucks. Don't know why that's a thing. I do not know why the Flight Factor does not have replay sound. That should not be a thing. This is the only add-on in X-Plane that does this. It drives me nuts. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. Hope you have a good one, man. Guess we have to listen to something. Let's see how we did on the near smash. Right there, near smash. Woo! We saved it though. A little bit of a drift. That, you know what? That might actually have to do with the tailwind. That might have come in play there. Just a little bit of tailwind. You really got to watch your descent rate, and when you start to flare like that, it'll just kind of drive you down. You lose that lift off center line there, but I think we got her back on after we corrected. Man, we were so close to smashing though. We saved it. That was a saver. All right, not bad, not bad, not bad. We'll take a look at a couple of the Carta engine reversers here. Get the sail playing, and we are gonna head out. Mods, thank you so much for hanging out with me on stream today. All my new members, all the members in chat, thank you. Thank you for the donations, guys. Team Vodka Aviation, 2121, Scott, and many more. Flight Force, I believe, is in there as well. Thank you guys for the donos. I sincerely appreciate all of that. All the new subscribers, thank you as well. Everyone else just hanging out in chat, I love you guys just as much. Hit the like button for me on the way out, if you would, please. There we go. Look at those IE engines sliding reverse. That is freaking awesome. That looks real. That just straight up looks real. Next flight, we are headed to Paro Bhutan. Probably one of the most challenging approaches, if not the most challenging approach there is to fly. For the record, I've already crashed one time. Hopefully I can figure that out so we don't crash on stream. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of your week. Happy New Year to everybody I haven't seen since the New Year. Until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See ya!